What if hiring wasn't based on gut feeling, but on data? What if instead of guessing who will perform well, a company could actually predict it? Sounds unrealistic, right? But this is exactly what Google tried to solve. And in doing so, they completely changed how modern HR works. In the early days, even Google made hiring mistakes. Managers relied heavily on intuition, long interviews, tricky questions, and personal judgment. But over time, they noticed something surprising. Many of those decisions were inconsistent. Some candidates who performed well in interviews didn't perform well on the job, and some who were rejected could have been great hires. That's when Google asked a simple but powerful question. What actually predicts success? This led to one of the most important shifts in HR, data-driven hiring. Instead of relying only on opinions, Google started analyzing large amounts of hiring data. They looked at interview scores, candidate backgrounds, job performance, and long-term outcomes. And what they found changed everything. Brain teaser questions, which were once popular, had little impact on predicting performance. Unstructured interviews were unreliable. What worked better were structured interviews, consistent scoring systems, and clear evaluation criteria. Google also introduced multiple interviewers and standardized feedback. Instead of one person making a decision, several people evaluate the same candidate using the same framework. This reduces bias and improves accuracy. The idea was simple. If hiring decisions affect the entire company, they should be based on evidence, not just intuition. But Google didn't stop at hiring. They built a system called People Analytics, using data to understand employees after they join. One famous example is Project Oxygen, where Google analyzed what makes a great manager. Instead of guessing, they studied performance data and feedback, and identified specific behaviors that lead to better teams. This allowed them to train managers based on real evidence, not assumptions. Let's take a simple example. Imagine two candidates applying for the same role. In a traditional system, the decision might depend on who impressed the interviewer more. But in Google's system, both candidates are evaluated against the same criteria, scored consistently, and compared using data. The focus shifts from who do I like to who is more likely to succeed. That's a completely different approach. Today, this model is used by many companies around the world. Hiring is becoming more structured, more data-driven, and less dependent on individual bias. But here's the important part. Data doesn't replace human judgment. It supports it. The goal is not to remove people from the process, but to make better decisions using better information. At the Learning Studio, we're breaking down 100 subjects into simple, powerful video series so you can learn smarter and understand how the world actually works. Because once you see how companies like Google use data to hire and manage people, you start to understand that success is not random. It's built through systems that are constantly tested and improved.